For last week's tutorial, I used some strip cutters. They were these right here that I got off of Amazon, and I said in my video that they were terrible, and they are, and let me show you why. The reason why I use strip cutters is to get equal width strips, and so you need the blades to hold their position. And as you can see, these are so wonky. They don't even close, like when you go to close them. They don't close properly, and these blades have so much wiggle, and you have to fidget with these two little screws, which makes it difficult. And also the blades themselves are really dull, so when I would go to cut, every single row is just stuck together. They don't even cut through, you can see. So these were basically useless. These were the $15.99 ones on Amazon. I don't want to say the company's name because I don't want to trash anyone's company, but just know that the ones that are in the $15.99 range are a no-go. I can see maybe if you were just making pies and it wasn't about anything that has to be precise, maybe these would be okay, but for fondant stripes and stuff like that, I would say absolutely not. Don't waste your money. So then I was like, well, let's try mid-range. So I've tried these, and they were $25.99, and they came with this. And right off the bat, I was like, I don't know about this. It has these two little bolt screws as well, which are kind of hard to fidget with and to get both closed at the same time and open. And then I found that the problem was with these, that even once you tighten them, they have play this way. Because of the design, I guess, they sort of pivot in and out, which again makes your strips inconsistent in width. Kind of, each blade is a little jiggly, which again does not help the cause of trying to get straight cuts. So because of two bolts, they're really like, they just close kind of willy-nilly, which is not what I'm looking for. And the two handle thing like this is a little bit difficult to navigate. I don't really like that. These cut a lot better than the first ones. Even though they're stuck together a little bit, you can still kind of pull through. But also with this two handle situation, it's hard to get a consistent pressure all the way through your cutting motion. So a little bit better, $25.99. I mean, that's not nothing. I wasn't satisfied, so I wouldn't go for these either. But, you know, I had some heavy duty ones at work, and I was trying to go the cheap route for home use. But in the end, I decided to break down and order the ones that I paid $48.25 for, and now they're on sale for $45.05, so whatever. But these are the Ateco, and you can just tell as soon as you take them out of the box. They're heavy. There's only one of these that you have to futz with. There's no play up and down this way or in and out this way. Super easy, and the blades don't have a lot of wiggle back and forth this way. So you can just tell overall how much better they are made. And honestly, guys, for $20 more, for as much as I use them and cut stripes, it's so worth it. It's easy to get consistent pressure. You know, the cuts are clean. It's just a far superior product, honestly. So I would spring the extra $20. You can get free shipping with these too. I mean, I guess you don't have to get the Ateco ones. They have other ones in this price range, but I use the Ateco Kickstand as well, and I like that. So I would say if you are in the market for a strip cutter, you have to spring for the extra ones because the other ones are seriously useless. And also, while we're here, let's talk about the Omni Grid, okay? These come in all different lengths. They come sometimes skinnier, longer, but these are amazing also for cutting stripes because it's clear. You can line them up onto your fondant. You can see through to what you're doing. Okay, so say you have your piece of fondant and you just need one piece that is 2 inches wide. You just go to this line, which is the 2-inch mark. Line it all up here, you can see, and then you can just cut away. They're really great too for getting square lines because now if you need a square line going this way that needs to be at 90 degrees, all you have to do, or let's do it on this end since it's closer, all you have to do is line this point up. You can see the line is straight. It's straight up here as well. And then you can just cut this way, and now you have a completely squared line and you can see straight through it. It also gives you degrees, 60, 45, and 30 degrees. And how that is used is if you put this is the 60-degree line here. If you put this so that it's running along the base of your strip, and then you cut here, that's going to give you a 60-degree angle here, which is really useful sometimes when you're cutting, especially with 45s, right? So this is going to be your 45-degree angle. So if you had to butt something else up so that it was running this way like a frame, that's going to give you your 40, 60, 45, and 30-degree angles. I usually get the 24-inch by 12-inch Omni Grid. That's what I use at work, but for smaller projects at home, I just have this 12 by 6. Okay, so I thought I was just going to review the pastry wheel cutter, but then I added on the Omni Grid because I love it and I wanted to show a different way to cut stripes. So then I decided, well, let me just run through a few of my favorite decorating tools, starting off with my favorite fondant, which is this right here. Massa Ticino Tropic. Someone left me a sweet note. That would be my James. But anyway, so what I like to do is just get the white. It tastes like sugar. It's good. It has a really nice finish, guys. It's easy to work with. It doesn't get that elephant skin like some other fondants we know. It doesn't taste chemically or anything like that. I really, really like it. It also just has a really pretty finish as well. It's a little hard to find, maybe. We get it from Chef's Warehouse. Some people say it's pricey because this whole big bucket was like 90 bucks, which I guess is a little pricey, but when we figured out the cost of buying the smaller packs of Wilton, it's really not that much more. So if you can get your hands on it, I would try it. I really, really love it. So, and I usually get the white. It does come in other colors, but what we'll do sometimes to cut the price, as I said in my other fondant video, is either mix it with, cut it, you know, with a little bit of Wilton that's colored, especially if you're just getting sort of like more light tone colors, or you can color it with gel food color as well. So let's go the painting route. I love me a big paint palette. There's a lot of mixing room for colors, and then they have all these smaller wells for color mixing as well. I like to use this when I'm doing my vodka and gel food color. And then of course my paint brushes. I have watercolor brushes. They're really soft. They're not like that hard plastic. These are sable hair brushes, I believe. And I like them in a long liner like this, and browns, some that are fluffier, some that are smaller, but when they are wet, they come to a really fine tip. But what I've discovered painting on buttercream, my most favorite technique right now is using this cocoa butter. And if you watch any of my other painting on buttercream videos with this technique, you'll see how to use it all. You just have to take one of these little chips right here and you melt it sort of in a double boiler situation, and you mix it with petal dust. And I love painting with this, guys. It's my new favorite thing. And then, of course, clay extruder for all those lines. You can get these at any craft store, Amazon. And of course, they come with all these little attachments, so you can extrude different size ropes. This is my favorite sculpting tool. It's called a Scriber Tool. This one's made in England. I got it on Amazon. I just love these. I usually keep a few because they get a little dull after a little while, which is great because the new ones are really sharp, so you can get sort of sharp score lines and things like that, sharp points. But once they dull down, they're great too because it gives you a little softer tool to work with. My favorite. I use it all the time. Then this. I mention it all the time in my videos. It's a flexible blade. One side is sharp and cuts, and you can get all different kind of cuts, and it's such a thin blade you can sort of shave things off with it. Love it. Can't live without it. Use it all the time. Also, when I'm trying to get things off the table, you can just sort of like scrape it off the table. It's not really a tool. It is a piece of actual acetate that I got on one of my silicone molds, but you can also just buy like thick pieces of acetate, and I sort of cut them and round the edges. And I use this to smooth out the top corners of my fondant cakes to get more of a sharp edge. And then you can also use it on the side like this to smooth out fondant. But one of the best ways to sort of smooth out and buff fondant is just to use another piece of fondant dipped in cornstarch, and you just sort of use it as like a little fondant puff, and you smooth out your fondant. It works really great to get out any little lumps or bumps. It just sort of buffs it out and makes it all nice and even. Oh, and of course my Ateco Kickstand, which is in all my videos. It's heavy duty. I love it. It doesn't wobble like some of the other kinds do. And also, let's see, my little handy dandy cordless airbrush machine. Screw it on, turn it on with this button. Like all airbrush machines, it can be a little finicky. This was like, I'm gonna say 60 bucks on Amazon. But I found that, you know, I was using gel food color, which works, but I was mixing it with vodka, and I found that if I added just a little bit of water in that, it worked better. But just if you were really concerned about it, probably the safest thing to do, as with most airbrush machines, is to use the airbrush color, because that is formulated to have fine enough particles to flow through without an issue. So I will include all the links in this video. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions of tools that you love to use, you can also leave that in the comments below. I'm always looking for new and improved tools. So, all right, that's all.